Welcome to this week's episode of the Compliance Digest, presenting topics on all things compliance related. My name is Alex Krenke, and joining me this week is Kate Lucchesi and Michael Kirk. Welcome back to the show, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This week, we're going to provide an overview on the 2014 annual conference, which we all just got back from, thus the I Heart Compliance t-shirts. We're hoping that if you were at the conference, you get a chance to grab one of the yellow ones and are wearing it proudly. So this week, we wanted to talk about the Finra conference, not specifically the sessions, because we do know that information is available online. If you want to learn more about some of the individual sessions, you can go on to Finra's website. Instead, we did want to focus on some of the conversations that we had with some of our customers and some of our prospects, really identify some of the trends that were coming up, which is very valuable from a peer-to-peer basis. So, Kate, today you just want to talk about a topic that came up a lot.
Mm-hmm. So I saw a lot of people reaching out to us and kind of asking us about the branch audit tool that we offer. A lot of people seem to be still using a manual process, very paper-based, and using Excel spreadsheets and just having trouble with the follow-up and just reaching out and kind of looking at the reps and really doing a thorough branch audit. So they're asking a lot of questions about our tool and how we could kind of help them make those branch audits for them a little bit more successful. So, within our tool, it's just one location. It's a tool that they can view their firm element training. They can look at those outside business activities through that tool. So it just kind of brings everything together. They can have, the written supervisory procedures all loaded within this branch audit tool, and just kind of gives them a little bit more flexibility within the tool. And it's just easier to use, one place for them to go. And just a lot of people seem to really like that. And it seems like the trend is kind of moving that way, to move it from a paper base to that electronic online tool.
Yeah, it really is unique that came up really more than I think we expected this year. And it comes off the back of a lot of the speakers were mentioning the fact that we need to be doing risk-based audits right now. So it's not good enough to walk through your cookie cutter questionnaire. You need to focus in on historical trends that you've been seeing. If you have some recidivist brokers out there, it's important to zero in on them and make sure that the conduct that they were doing in the past that was negatively impacting your firm is no longer happening. So again, branch audit was coming up a lot. A lot of people we were surprised to see are still using the old paper and pen or Excel sheets. So it's important to note that moving into this year and then even next year, that switching to a more electronic version that can house all this information would be really advantageous for your firm audit process. And then, Mike, you picked up on something different too.
I did. It was basically a combination theme that I felt both by listening to panelists at the various breakout sessions and having conversations with folks as they stopped by our booth. And basically, if you take any idea that was spoken about, even if it was an old idea, suitability or AML training, which comes up all the time, or a new idea, cybersecurity threats, things of this nature, there always seemed to be a panel highlight of a desire to get this information or your specific firm's policy, your specific firm's procedures with any of these topics, X, Y, or Z, into the reps' hands, into their minds, and into their practice procedures. It's communication. How does this work? And for me, if I take that information plus the conversations that I heard with a number of folks as they passed by our booth, was really this is the concept and this is the genesis of what firm element is supposed to be, right? And if I had to shamelessly plug ourselves, I would say that this is crucial and a theme that we carry tried and true to our heart. And that's, we're something that you'll find in our firm element catalog. But something that's unique with us and our ability is, even if your firm is large or small, or your need is close to what we might have as an off-the-shelf model, is that we have an ability to customize your training, whether it's per module or all of them, all training, firm element, AML, and nature. We can customize that to your specific needs. And a lot of people seem to be desirable of that. And so there seems to be this shift of firm element that was always back burner, but now let's bring it back to that front burner as, we're in the middle of the year, we're recovering these topics, and we're saying we're looking for something different. We have an idea, either utilize something that's off the shelf or get into this customization world and really drive home what you want to from that compliance standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. It's becoming more and more apparent that the firm element training is really a great opportunity to get out there in front of your reps and convey your message that your firm focus is going to be X this year. That it's not just going through the paces and doing your AML and your anti-fraud. It's more about learning these new principles that are coming out and learning from the mistakes of others and really just best practices as they come up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great opportunity to add that to your reps plate.
Absolutely.
So those were two things that we picked up on that we thought were really unique and important to share because we see that the Finra conference, in addition to being a great opportunity to see what Finra is focusing on, but also to see how your peers are handling these issues. So Kate and Mike, I do want to thank you for joining us today and sitting down and walking through some of those tips.
Yeah, no problem.
And I told you I'd do it, so I just want to give a special shout out to Donna. We enjoyed seeing you at the conference, and that'll wrap it up for this week's episode. We'll see you again in another couple weeks for another episode of the Compliance Digest.